can't touch me. Excuse you.
Those Democrats sure have a way with the ladies. And maybe that's why they're all lady boys now. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news to get into today, as of course the situation is not all right when it comes to the 2024 presidential election. As in Iran, they're now starting a big beef with Pakistan. What in the world is going on here as the world is on the brink of a big potential conflict? Well, we're going to be talking about that plus a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was done by the extremely talented Drafanzer Memes. Again, truly incredible meme magic work from this individual that definitely deserves all the accolades. If there was an award that we could give to the best satirical comedic meme makers in the world, Drafanzer Memes would be getting the top accolades here. My goodness, his latest Elizabeth Warren one is ridiculously freaking hilarious. Go check him out and support his work, as we definitely need more meme makers than ever, as our news cycle becomes more partisan and bitter, as perfectly highlighted by the latest news of Donald Trump's wife, Melania Trump, just losing her mother, as her funeral was today, which Donald Trump had to fly out for to be at his wife's side. This, as of course, a judge in New York City decided not to postpone Donald Trump's trial and essentially gave him an ultimatum saying that he had to choose between the funeral of a loved one or to be at the legal proceedings against him in New York City. Of course, Donald Trump chose to be with his loved ones today, showing you just how politically partisan and biased some judges could be, as there was a confrontation in the courtroom a couple days ago over the E. Jean Carroll defamation case, where, according to Donald Trump, the judge angrily responded to him when, of course, Trump asked for a pause in the legal proceedings. Trump later went on and described the judge as, quote, abusive, rude, and obviously not partial. This, as the judge will also be deciding how much Donald Trump will be owing in defamation charges to, of course, one of his accusers. All of this as the son of the President of the United States, Hunter Biden, according to the latest court filings, was also found with a firearm pouch that contained illegal substances just a few weeks ago. Yes, you heard that correctly. New court filings by the DOJ are documenting how there was cocaine found on a firearms pouch of Hunter Biden just a few weeks ago. As of course, this man is getting a slap on the wrist. Many of his charges are being ignored, as even there's clear videos and photo evidence of them, as it definitely does still look like the current establishment is trying to prop up his father to somehow still be the next president-elect for the real powers behind the scenes, who obviously are probably leveraging all the dirt and compromise on Hunter Biden in order to use him as the useful vessel that he is for the very powerful institutions that routinely fail us and the American people. In related absolute failure news, today we got more hindsight about what happened in Uvalde, Texas, where now the DOJ is blaming local police officers there for being absolute cowards, as the federal government is detailing how the local police department, quote, had no urgency, had major significant failures, and were acting like complete incompetent cowards when it came to protecting school children during a horrible event where many of them, of course, lost their lives, highlighting the importance of a well-armed general public to, of course, prevent these events from ever happening again. In unrelated big failure news, today we're also finding out that allegedly Ron DeSantis is pulling a lot of his TV advertisements, a lot of his staff are being laid off, and even one of his former spokespersons just flipped and decided to support Donald Trump. This as we await the primary results coming from New Hampshire in just a few days from now, that according to a lot of political analysts will not be very favorable to Ron DeSantis. This as, of course, there's a big heated debate going on right now surrounding the response between the former president of the United States and the current governor of Florida that I will have to talk about on LukeUnfiltered.com. Lots of crazy things to talk about, lots of drama, lots of insanity, lots of back and forth. We'll be talking about that, plus some very kind of interesting comments made by MMA superstar and current UFC champion Sean Strickland that now is talking about women in a very interesting way, which we're going to be continuing the conversation all exclusively on LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you doing? We have 3 ways that you could sign up. We have the Bidenomics Lite version where you could just sign up for $8. Our regular membership is $15. We even have a more exclusive membership for $99. Your memberships are crucial to the sustainability, survival, and expansion of this independent media organization. You get to be involved on the ground with everything we do. We have 3 masterclasses. We have a forum. We have a members-only store. We have seed oil cards. We have the crap list of things you should be avoiding at the grocery store. We have contests in real-life meetups. And if you thought about signing up before, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now. Click the link down in the description below. Click join for whatever tier you are financially able to support us. Click on the button. Signing up, it's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and you're able to see 10 plus years of exclusive, incredible content that no one else could see that is centered towards making you the best, strongest version of yourself. Yesterday's video was specifically about the financial mindsets that you need to have in an incredibly tumultuous 2024 disruptive financial system that you need to be on top of, because if you're not, you're going to be a victim of it. This is, of course, you could expect a lot of very economic tumultuous news to happen in 2025. Make most of the situation. Sign up now on LukeUnfiltered.com, and I will tell you more important details of what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening in this world, how I'm trying to take advantage of the current situations that we're all involved in, all on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there right after this broadcast, as of course we are not done here, as the situation internationally and geopolitically is getting very tumultuous, to say the least. This, as NATO is now planning to mobilize 90,000 soldiers from all of Europe and the United States for one of their biggest military exercises since the Cold War. Military exercises that, of course, is wargaming, practicing, and getting soldiers ready for a potential big fight with Russia. This, as the war game Steadfast Defender will go on for 4 months, involve all 31 NATO member country states, including, of course, Sweden, that recently had their political and military officials warn their populations that they need to do everything in their power to prepare for a big fight with Russia. Now, with this mobilization, with the history of other war games too, we have to understand, along with the comments that we recently got from Germany, the comments that we got a long time ago from Poland, that we are essentially wrapping up and building up towards something really horrible here that could at any moment, at any time, spiral out of control, especially when you have 90,000 NATO troops in the region where already there's a hot conflict going on. And whether it's deliberate or whether it's an accident or whether it's some kind of 3D chess false flag kind of initiative, this is essentially playing with fire. Near a bunch of gasoline tied in to a bunch of nuclear warheads everywhere. Enough nuclear warheads to blow up the Earth many times over, as of course the situation just keeps getting more and more out of hand inside of Ukraine, where the battle there mainly is remaining a stalemate, as already U.S. military and NATO hardware is being used against Russian tanks and soldiers that are fighting it out and still continuing to lose their lives over this conflict that, as we predicted, probably will go on a lot longer than a lot of people expect it to. This, as the United States also simultaneously is now dropping bombs on Yemen, specifically going after the Houthi rebels that are tied into the Iranians. This, as the Houthis keep trying to hit American military installations in the region and are finding it very difficult to do so. This, as we're also finding out, according to some international news reports, that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is being deployed in Yemen, which of course complicates the situation since the United States is also bombing that region and that country. What's going to happen when the United States, either deliberately or by accident, takes out members of the Iranian military, where, of course, that signals a lot of escalations that are already happening in the region, as, of course, Iran just a couple days ago launched strikes inside of Iraq and just moments ago launched airstrikes inside of Pakistan. Pakistan is now responding as their Air Force just carried out retaliatory strikes on insurgent groups inside of Iran, as the AP has an article here detailing could it escalate, as of course Iran is a nuclear weapon equipped country, as border disputes between Iran and Pakistan have been an ongoing issue, and it could definitely spiral out of control. Now, currently, a lot of the fighting right now is happening between groups operating within this contested territory, groups that, of course, each country say is being directly supported and backed by their fellow country. This as the Iranian and Pakistani governments are focusing their strikes on these insurgency groups, keeping this a regional local dispute that hopefully won't spill over and create more problems for the region that already is engulfed in a lot of military conflicts. This as, of course, Iran is planning their own air defense military drills and war games that, of course, again, we see this time and time again. War games escalate to actual real-life events in certain scenarios, in certain situations that are, of course, that they're used for initial cover there. Sometimes they are just actual war games. This as a lot of militaries around the world are preparing themselves for what could be an all-out global war that at any moment, at any time, could create a situation that could absolutely spiral out of control and engulf the entire world, as even the Daily Mail reports that the Middle East is a tinderbox waiting to explode here that, of course, would involve many other countries, as a Chinese project in the region now has been stalled by this fighting, as many countries, many proxies are creating some strange bedfellows, strange alliances, and strange situations, just like we saw in the 1930s and 40s. And just like we saw decades before that and decades before that. As, of course, the cycles for global war and upheaval seem to be very consistent on the world stage. Especially when you look at history, especially when you look and examine the patterns here. A lot of things are pretty troublesome, to say the least, and probably more troublesome from here. What patterns do you see? Let me know down in the comment section below. It would be interesting to get your comments and perspective on this entire matter, as, of course, I have a lot more to say about this, especially when it comes to the women that are now being drafted and put on the front lines in Ukraine. That conversation, as well as the comments from Sean Strickland, all will be talked about now on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you over there. And if it wasn't for you doing that and sharing this video, I wouldn't be here, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.